everyone. Welcome to Sketch Club. My name is Jason Meyer, and my two lovely assistants are off gallivanting around somewhere because that's what beautiful assistants do sometimes. So if you tuned in for Cindy and Iz, they'll be back Sunday night, so make sure to come back then. But since you're here, why not hang out and sketch with us a little bit? So I hope everybody's well. Good evening, Susan. Hope you are well, getting some work done. And there's Cindy off gallivanting around, but she's still here in spirit, keeping it all going. Before we get going tonight, a couple of announcements. This will be the last Sketch Club for the week. We'll be back Sunday evening at 7 o'clock right here on Facebook, Meyer Studio page, where we do 4 5-minute sketches. And then Tuesday night at 7 and Thursday night at 7, we revisit those, 2 on each night, and we spend 10 minutes apiece on those, trying to push them a little further. Monday, we do have a brand new class starting, a Visual Principles of Painting, oil painting class. And if you've ever wanted to get into it, this is a good time. We're going to really go into the basics of form, structure, and connection. And we can cover that on very, very simple things, and we're going to talk about some of that tonight. So consider this sort of a sneak preview of what's to come. So if we call up the iPad here, and I got a fancy new sketch board for my iPad, so it is much more comfortable to work on now. And this will be the first reference we spend 10 minutes on tonight. And 10 minutes isn't very much time, so what we're doing here in Sketch Club is we're taking a bunch of information, like glasses and nose, and can you call that a mustache? I don't know. It's an attempt at a goatee there. There's a bottom lip. Look, there's chin. All kinds of... But is there any way we can see all of that stuff as a simpler structure? And the answer is yes. Right? So the head is a simple egg. And then what happens here is the neck is basically invisible. Basically invisible because the head's covering the neck. The neck's implied. Right? But we don't want a flat body, right? We want to make sure this body feels like it has volume. Right? As well as any arms or anything else we put in here. And so we want to begin at the beginning to know how to draw and light these forms. And then if you have a hat on, well, what's a hat? Well, a hat's just a cylinder going over the top of the egg. And then it's got a fancy little dress on that cylinder. But it's nothing more than that. Okay? So that's what you're going to be seeing me do tonight. I will not be working in line, but in tone value. And I'll talk about 4 values, a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, and a number 4. Okay, and I'm not going to go too much into that tonight. That's a discussion for another time. Just so that you're familiar with some of the language that I use. Again, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You're welcome to do what you want. These can be found on our website at jasonmeyer.com under Sketch Club. Over there, you'll see reference images. Click on that, and you got it. So what did we learn last time? Well, we learned we wanted to see it simply. So I know, it's super cute, but we still have to see it as a simple shape. And we got a little bit of neck over here, and the stretch of the neck down here. Right, the neck's on, and then that's wrapping over the shoulder. See that? So we want volume. So one of the ways that we do that is when we light it, we think, well, this is shadow, and this is casting a shadow, and that's got a form shadow, and that's casting a shadow. And then under the hat's a shadow, right? And that's casting a shadow. That's an underplane shadow. So it's getting these light dark patterns to say light and shadow of this kind of form. And I know that sounds really abstract, but it's really very simple. Right? If the light was coming in this way, the shadow will be like that. There's a neck there, well then that's going to cast a shadow onto that neck. And if there's shoulders on that, well that's going to cast a shadow onto that. Right? And once we make all three of those things into a single shape, then all of a sudden we have a very strong drawing. That's how it works. I know it seems weird, but that is how it works. So I hope you guys are ready for a few minutes of drawing. We're going to spend 10 minutes on each of these tonight. I'll play video of me sketching this earlier today. It was just earlier today. It seems like a long time ago. And then you can sketch along or watch along, whatever you like. Provide good commentary, help me out, since my co-hosts aren't here tonight. All right, well, grab your gear and let's get going. All right, so we got the reference up. Again, you can find this reference on the website under the Sketch Club Live. Wow, I've kind of outgrown this box, haven't I? Oh, that's a little more comfortable. This is making me uncomfortable. And we spent 5 minutes on this Sunday. And sometimes when you're doing it that quick, unless this is something you do all the time, you really don't have time to get the proportions and stuff right. But what I go to is kind of understanding what's happening first. And then like when I'm coming back tonight, okay, let's take a finer look at it and see where we can adjust this. Watch how far I move that hat down. Again, it doesn't seem like it should be that difficult. And then you try to do it. Oof. Oof. I remember when I was in art school taking classes, sketching, and the teacher would sit down and he would just casually run his few lines over here and there, and boom, the whole thing was like there, three-dimensional. And man, every time I put anything down, everything died. It was far from coming to life. It died. But I persisted. Continued, and I finally got it figured out. So, do not get discouraged if you think, man, it looks so easy, but I go to do it and it gets all squirrely. Patience, grasshopper, patience. And that's completely normal. That's completely normal. It takes a little practice. Where your drawing's actually revealing how you're looking. And art's more about how you look than anything else. If you can see this set up simply, then you're going to have more power to do with it as you wish. The more complicated you see it, oof, the weaker you are. I mean, how many things can you keep in the air at one time? 3, 4, 10, 12, 15, 27. All right, the more you get in the air, the less this tension you have. And I wanted to show you this too. This was a little earlier this morning. I hadn't really got going too much. And I don't hesitate to take off and put down. The sketching should be a searching. Almost more than a seeing, it's a feeling for me. I try to feel over the objects, right? How can we wrap our hands around it? How can we draw around, right? Get everything going around, 3 dimension, every direction, right? Get that one shoulder coming at us and that other shoulder going away from us. But sometimes we think seeing's about seeing more detail. Well, I could put this in the hat, and this in the hat, and this in the hat, and this in the hat. Big pieces first. Get those big pieces right, and then yeah, do some more. But it's always big pieces to the small pieces. Am I getting this quote right? That which matters most must never be at the mercy of that which matters least. Right? The big pieces matter. The big pieces matter, baby. They matter the most. Matter the most. And the power of the power of seeing it simply. Right? That comes with just time and experience. But part of this is you learn that you see what you look for. So a big part of art is deciding what's worth looking for. Right? So on a sketch, what's worth looking for, and that would be something that would create an interesting light, dark, gray pattern. Right? So it's not even so much the subject matter as the patterns that we can make with it. Because that's what we're actually going to be seeing. Right? Did you realize that? You're a pattern looker. Surface touching pattern looker. But it once you see in 3 dimensions, it becomes more like sculpting than like drawing. I don't feel like I'm working 2 dimensions. You start to feel like you're working 3 dimensions. In, around, across, over, under. And until you know the power of these shapes and these angles and these sizes, it can seem almost ridiculous to spend this kind of time on something like this. But if you get the big pieces right, how do they say it where you come from? Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. It just works. Right? It's nice, it's big, it's simple, it's not labored. And since you've suggested the big pieces, it's enough that the viewer can actively participate with their imagination, filling in the blanks. Alright, they can put whoever they want under that hat. good guy, a bad guy, a reader, a writer, a secret agent? I don't know. Who are you going to put under that hat? Right? But if we draw the mystery rather than the particular. Ooh, well, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. How many times have you known every detail? Every detail. Oof, I wish you hadn't. I wish I hadn't heard all that. Wish I hadn't heard all that. That's 2 hours and 45 minutes of my life I won't get back. But at a quick glance, man, at a quick glance, ooh, just spark a little something in them. Spark a little something. I think you'll see me come carve my face around a couple of times, because I don't think that big head could fit in that little bitty hat at this point. Do you? So do you see that? Rather than looking, oh, where's the hat? You know, ask yourself, can that volume of the head fit inside that hat? I hope I come back and fix this. Maybe I ran out of time. I don't know. It's early morning. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. I can't put that up. I can't put that up. Cool shot of a cool artist. I don't know. I don't think that guy's so cool. Oh, did I cut my face down? Do I get to cut it down more? Oof. Oof. Yeah, you want to draw a pretty portrait, it's going to take longer than 15 minutes. But the volumes. Again, this isn't about getting it right. It's about stretching your artistic muscle. Yes, you can. You can do it. You can do it. All right, there's a new reference. Again, so I'd like to try to challenge you to see, can you get the volume, the big volume of the head? Can you set a hat on top of and around that volume? Can you have that volume sitting on top of a neck that fits into shoulders? Right? We want to start thinking about connections now. Connections. I've gone on and on about 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Value, value, value. So now we're going to get down to the meaning of these values. What do I mean by the meaning of the values? Well, we're going to see how much we can say with them. And we're going to learn that the connection is where the art happens. And the connections and the transitions and the in-betweens. You get the connections right, you're home free. You get the connections wrong, there's nothing you can do to save yourself. What I'm doing here is called mapping, is how I was taught it. But see, I'm thinking about the shadow falling over. And so I'm mapping the shadow out is what you're seeing. And then you'll see me come back and kind of fill that in. But even when I'm mapping it out, I'm trying to fill around, over and around. Claudia's watching. Look, I got my wife's yelling at me. And then Claudia came around to see if she could smell any blood in the water. What are you doing, Claudia? What are you doing? By the way, since Claudia's here, I want to make sure that she knows that come April, it's a finishing month, Susan 2. So, because next month might not be Claudia's favorite, but we're going to apply this stuff directly to still life, Claudia. Volumes and connections. Volumes and connections. And then after that, we can work on and finish up some stuff. So we're going to see if we can't take everybody's art up a couple of notches. Again, I think the real advancement always happens on a deeper understanding of fundamentals. Right? Big advancement doesn't come from really understanding new or this or that, but it's a more solid understanding of the fundamentals. Claudia, sounds good. You're such a good sport. I'm glad you're on board. I'm glad you hung in there with us too. Hung in from the transition from reality to the interweb. Claudia hung on for the ride. Got 8 seconds. Man, did you guys see that form just happen as you get that shadow filled in? You get those shapes right, they just work. But if they're not right, oof, they just don't work. It's a two-sided sword. And I've been on both sides of that sword, so I can speak with a little authority there. Spent plenty of time with it not working. But it is in the seeing. And the seeing is all in the what you are looking for. You're in charge of the seeing. Boom. Now, no, it's not nearly as cute as a little baby, but come on, this is 10 minutes. I'm not a portrait painter. Cut me some slack. Glad Grandma's not watching tonight. I tell all my students, don't ever draw or paint anything that has a grandmother. You'll never get it right. You'll never get it right. That's halfway joking, but it's really amazing at how everybody really sees things quite differently. They see things quite differently, certain characteristics. And sometimes I even had people go, wow, no, that doesn't look anything like them. And maybe they come back later, 3 months, 6 months later, and go, wow, that's like this perfect picture of them. So even with time can change. It's funny how seeing is a complicated activity, complex endeavor, which makes showing for us showers can be a complex endeavor if you don't understand. If you don't understand the seeing, oof, it's hard to be an effective shower. Hard to be an effective shower. I really have gained a ton of confidence just from doing these shows. One of the reasons I wanted to do the sketch club is I've been for years and years trying to get something like this going, but it was kind of almost too big of a hassle, and my schedule was always so tight and getting everywhere. But it's kind of perfect online. And rather than 3 hours or something, 20 minutes 3 times a week. That's a good little stretch. That's a good little stretch. So I think it's doable. It's doable for about everybody. Susan. Hey, Susan. Yeah, both Claudia and Susan, both you guys. We started this out when we got the stay-at-home orders. We started doing a free Friday feedback. I think it was on Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook. And then we turned that into a little class, and now we've got an online school, sketch club, morning jump start 3 times a week, all kinds of good stuff, and some great improvement stuff by the students too. So I'm so happy with what we've been able to do. Happy. There's some movement. Look at that hair. A little bit of movement for you. Especially, so Cindy will tell you, I told her a long time ago, there's just no way I can do this without you. There's no way. And I'm very fortunate to have Cindy, for sure. We all are. We all are. Could you imagine talking to me on the phone? Oof. That'd be a different experience. That'd be a different experience than you get with Cindy. What? Just press the button. Just press the button. I'm painting. Thank God for Cindy. Takes a village, people. It takes a village. It takes a village. By help, she means do it. She's happy to help. She means I'm happy to do it. Thanks, baby. Cindy is the greatest. If I could sing, I'd sing a song about her. But that might not be a compliment. It might not work out so well. Right? And don't worry about getting them perfect. Challenge yourself to get things. And when you're challenging yourself to get things, guess what? You're going to go wrong sometimes. That's kind of the price of the challenge. So don't be so attached to these that they have to look good and great. Obviously, always do your best. But the important thing is to be doing this so much that, so what if you mess up? So what? We want to get over that being uptight about what we do. Right? And part of that is to gain the confidence and the skill so that we're not worried about it. Right? Confidence and the skill, and also keeping it, again, simple enough that we can't get into some trouble. Man, 20 minutes, there it goes. Fast. So let's get into rewind. Before we do, tomorrow morning we're going to have our last class, and we're going to have that through the school. So Cindy's been in touch, I believe, with everybody. If not, Cindy will help you out with that. And then for Monday's Zoom, our new class, make sure you got your pencil and sketch pad for your first Zoom. It's going to be a little more interactive. And like I said, April is going to be a Let's Finish month. So if you got some stuff you've been working on, keep it going. Get it ready to bring it home in April. In the meantime, let's see what I did in 20 minutes and about just over a minute. Again, and the reason I'm so willing to spend so much time on these fundamental forms is without them, the painting or drawing, whatever just doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel substantial, right? The substantialness comes from these big volumes being accurately portrayed, right? Stretching and bending and connecting and turning and twisting. That's where the game's at. I know, I said the same thing. But I don't want to paint volumes, turning and twisting. I got all this stuff in my mind. Trust me. Learn to do this and then turn it into whatever you have in your mind. Because that's the only way it's going to look good. Took me too long to learn that. Okay, guys, that's going to wrap up another sketch club for this week, which was fantastic. Let's see, is March start? Is this the end of February? My God, life goes fast with art. Fun and fast with art. So, as always, thank you for joining us. Again, you can catch all of these reference images on the website, jasonmeyer.com, under Sketch Club Live. Find out about our new school under the Teaching tab. And feel free to contact us here or there for any further information. Thank you for all the love, the likes, the thumbs up. And we will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.